For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a review on the Kampa Frontier Air. So it's a brand new awning for 2017 and it's absolutely class. It's one of the first biggest awning you will find on the market for your caravan, and essentially it's going to replace the full awning. Not only because it's a porch, so it only needs 4 meters on your awning rail to go, but the actual awning width is 8 meters and it's 3 meters deep at its deepest point. So the joy is actually you get a really nice sweeping curve around the front, so you get a beautiful panoramic view out over the campsite. I mean, for me, I'm going to put out now, it's going to be the best awning for 2017. It's one we're certainly going to try and get up in our indoor display room at the shop in Whitminster, so it's definitely worth coming down for a trip just to see this. What Kampa have really done is they've been very clever. So they've taken the best-selling awning across Europe, which was the Kampa Ace Air 400, which you can see just here, and they've actually bolted 2 conservatories on the side. So really what you've got is the 4-meter awning with 2 meters each side for essentially annexes, but you can pretty much be really more versatile than annexes, so you can sort of enter as you please, so they've got doors as well. It's still a 1-point inflation. So 1 point here will inflate the whole awning, and then you've got several deflation taps all around the awning so you can get the air out nice and quickly. This one I've actually pitched on my own, took me 11 minutes, and the video you can see on our website and our YouTube channel, so definitely worth a watch for that. Also there's a second video as well actually, so using a 12-volt electric pump, so if you want to sit back, relax with a can of cider, watch your tent go up, no brainer. Probably I would say, certainly for something this size, the pump does make a massive difference. So initially it is a bit slower, but you can really relax and not essentially get out of breath. Kampa, obviously, with their Ace, which essentially this is, with the axis, offer numerous features and great sort of specifications. So Kampa use their Wither Shield Pro fabric, so it's a really great fabric. You can just literally feel the quality inside of it, and we know that with Kampa. So it's 300 denier, very waterproof. What more can you ask for? Kampa use a 1-point guiding system, so the guy rope actually pulls out not only the main body, but the base as well, so it makes it easier and quicker to get it up so quick. Because essentially it's an Ace, you've still got the same features apply, so these front 3 panels here can be completely zipped out, and you can actually replace them with sort of like a mesh panel as well if you want to. You have the benefit of the skylights, so you get loads of light inside, it feels really quite air and fresh, and certainly you've got windows all the way around with sort of caravan curtains, so you get a nice homely feeling when you want the privacy. There is the option on the front here of a sunwing, so you've got the straps points here. It's the Ace Air 400 sunwing, so it comes out, beautiful shaded area at the front, and it's always something you can look at adding, which sort of makes it really almost like a party place. The joys obviously of Kampa is necessarily the quality, so we know in years gone by they probably are, in fairness, probably the #1 awning company for air. And everyone is all competing against it. That's why for this 2017 season, they've kept their cards very close to the chest, because it is a massive game changer in the caravan awning market. It's quite staggering, to be honest, and it's going to be quite hard to beat. If you want something that this side, initially it's certainly it's about £1,500, but it's totally worth it. I mean, the joys of it is, like I said, you can tell how easy it is to pitch down to the roof. Get it very tight, and the cross beams just make it an absolute pleasure to put up. But we'll talk about a few more features on the inside of it, so let's have a look. So now we're inside the Frontier. First thing you can see is the sheer amount of room you got in here. Loads of room, no problem. So if it's going to chuck it down with rain, you are pretty much sorted inside of here. And because you've got obviously loads of lovely big windows, it's always going to feel bright, airy, and pretty light inside of here. So it's a pleasurable place to be in, to be honest. The windows of which are PVC, so very crystal clear and good quality. You've got curtains on every sort of window you see, apart from the lovely roof liners, so you can quite happily get the privacy when you want to. Pull them across, it's more like your sort of traditional caravan style of curtains, makes it feel a bit more homely if you ask me. And then you've got a separate little strap here just to hold it nice and tight against the panel. The retainers for the 2017 season on the Air models have changed to a really nice simple button system. It's a much more pleasurable thing than the sort of plastic thing they had there previously. A little tweak they've made a difference as well is they put an extra Velcro part down here, and that's purely just to make sure the door sits a bit tighter and a bit neater together. Like the Ace, this model can actually, all the panels can zip out the front free here, and also the joys of this is you can actually create almost like a veranda, so you can get a good circulation of air without having to combat, having things come in. And what you can also do is completely remove that panel, have all free, and then you've got a great circulation. There is a mesh panel that you should be able to fit into there as well, which is a new thing that Kampa have introduced for the 2017 season, and it's sort of essentially what this is a Kampa Ace Air 400, just obviously with your conservatories on there. One thing you can see certainly from the inside now is the way it becomes 1-point inflation. So the joys of this is you've got an inflation point just about here, that then goes through and then it's distributed through the tubes are all around the awning, so it makes it very easy to put up. Where you've got on the tubes is an isolation valve, so you can completely seal off every individual valve, so that way if you do for any means have a leak or something go wrong, it's all segregated into one section, so it means you can still use the awning no problem at all. The principle of the beams is that there's like a bike tire, so you've got a sleeve that sits inside of the awning, a separate one in there, and then an inner tube in there. So if you, God forbid, did have an issue, you can unzip that to the main bladder, put a patch repair kit on it, or replace the inner tube, which Kampa have a notorious amount of stock of, and certain dealers like ourselves do carry a small range of them. But one thing, again, it's just more peace of mind that you can do something about it, and to be honest, you don't tend to get very many issues, but it's there if need be. Kampa are very good in their aftercare service, I will have to say, and certainly dealing with customers, they do care about the end user, i.e. you guys. One thing you can also do as well is add loads of optional extras on the side of it. So you've got certain things I would strongly recommend, such as the storm straps. I would say it's a pretty much necessity with any porch awning that you purchase, and rear back poles. So those two things are sort of bread and butter items. Rear back poles, again, you've got a foam pad here, it just pushes against them, so you slots in at top, just keeps and stops the draft come through. A new thing for 2017 that Kampa have invented is something called a limpet. So limpet is this little device here, comes in a pack of 8, and it's designed basically a sucker with a twist system to just basically push the back part and keep it nice and snug against the caravan. So what Kampa have very cunningly done is just inserted 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, along the sort of palmet part, which you can just pop your limpet into. So put one side on the other, screw it on a little bit so it stays there. Choose a nice flat surface, it needs to be a flat surface to go onto. Just rotate it a little bit and it sucks it on. So then it's attached, and like I said, because you've got 4 there, that combined with the rear back poles, you're not going to get any draft coming through there. It's a very clever system, something like I said unique to Kampa they've just invented for the 2017 season. But if you've got a previous awning and you like the sound of it, you can actually buy a limpet hole puncher and then create your own. So it's something that can be pretty much universal across any sort of awning, whether it be a Kampa model or Vango or anything like that. So a really nice, neat little idea there. One thing in terms of optional extras, you've got things like a skylight, so you can quite happily put your sort of roof liner in here. Joys of that is helps with condensation, makes it a much more pleasurable side inside of here. One of my most favourite things to add to an awning like this is the Kampa Sabre lights. So the 150 series, you've got Velcro tabs just positioned here, 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 and a second bunch all across here, and it just gives you light during the evening. So you can link 3 Sabre lights up to one sort of socket. It comes with a 3-pin main plug, but you can buy a 12-volt cigarette lighter additionally, which for me I think is worthwhile, certainly if you're running on the battery or the caravan. Like I say, you link 3 together and you can use it as a remote control. So we've got a separate video on the Sabre light, which is worth a view if you're not really sure what they are. On to the conservatory. So the conservatory, like I say, you've got 1 each side, so one where the camera is and one where I'm in now. Obviously plenty of head height, I'm about 6'2", I can happily stand up in here, no problem at all. There's an inner bedroom you can buy to go inside of here, which is certainly a thing worth doing if you're looking to sleep extra people. So potentially you can have 2 berths there, 2 berths there, and you're sort of happy as Larry really. You've got a door on each side, so you've got a door at the front. So you can sort of enter and exit here, no problem as you please. And you've also got a door at the rear, so you can access any sort of cabs you've got here for storage and that sort of thing as well. Quite neatly, the one on the back actually, because of the size of the awning, normally overhangs the caravan a little bit, so you can really use that as a main door to come in and out of the awning without having to worry about these beautiful doors at the front. One thing you've got as well on both of the inner conservatory parts is a window positioned flat against the caravan. So this is purposes, if you've got a window in place, which we have here, you can quite happily see through and keep the light in the caravan without having to have it all dark and whatnot. Like I said, you can actually zip that panel back again if you've got any additional bits you need to add to it. So in essence, like I said, loads of features built into it, and then you've still got loads of optional extras as well. One thing, there is a flooring you can look at as well, so they do a easy tread and a cushioned carpet, so they're both breathable, designed to go down, stop obviously the grass from killing, but it's a bit nicer. Check those out on obviously the website, and we do different versions. There's one main one for this area here, and two separate ones you can purchase for sort of the conservatory areas. But in essence, like I said, certainly I'm going to say it's probably the awning of the year for 2017, mainly just down to the size of it, and really it's very innovative in terms of design, and there's nothing like it on the market whatsoever. I think Kampa really have pulled out a few aces here. So like I said, it should be one we're hopefully planning on displaying in our indoor showroom at Gloucester area, so definitely pop in to have a view of it, because it really is quite something. But in essence, that is the Kampa Frontier Air.